Hello YouTubers, this is basically just a video to start off my channel, because next month I'm getting a helmet camera, so I'm going to start doing like a biker vlog and thing, hopefully a drift HD, maybe ghost. This is my DT125R, alright bike, you know, it's a field bike. But yeah, basically I'm just going to tip video basically on replacing fork seals. This is basically like dismantling how to get them off. First thing you do is the brake caliper that goes on there, I've took it off at the moment, is there. There's just these two little bolts here, and yeah, basically, but these ones are weird, they've got like a little pin in the middle, so a normal Allen key can't get in there. They're like safety bolts, so if someone wanted to try and rob something off your bike, they can't just get in with a normal Allen key. So what you need is to undo them bolts. There's a set of these, they're like Allen keys but they're hollowed out in the middle. Don't know if you can see that yet. They're called a security key set, and basically so you can undo these bolts. So what you do is you take off the brake caliper and rest it on something, you know, anything, or tie it to the frame somewhere so you don't get any strain on the pipe. And then, but first before you do that, there's like a little bracket there that holds this down to that. So take that off, then take that off. You know, just them two little bolts there. On normal bikes, these are aftermarket kind of bolts. Normal bike's just a normal Allen key bolt. And then what you do is you take off this little bracket here with, you can just do it with an adjustable spanner or any spanner, but I've got a socket set. I just find it easier. So that is now off of there, and like this thing here, it comes out of the whole thing like a pin, and the wheel just comes off. But the thing is, when you take off the caliper, what you want to do is get something, can be wood, anything. I've got little bits of shim metal, and put it in between the pads, so if someone squeezes the brake, it doesn't like expel the pads, make them come out because it's hard to get back in. And another thing, it looks bloody stupid, but get anything like a wedge of water in, that's actually a stump peg off a BMX, and wedge it in between that, so then that can't just get pulled anyway. Do one or the other, but I've just done both to be on the safe side. So yeah, I've took that off now. There it is. And then yeah, this thing here comes straight out, and then the wheel should just come off. And another thing is, when you're taking off, once you've got the forks off and you're about to dismantle them, there's a bolt at the bottom of these here, if you can see that. You know, they're under both forks there, and what they do is they take off the tension off the spring inside, so when you take that off and you're undoing these, they don't just fly off, because they are now, when the springs on tension, these just ping off. So yeah, once you've done all the bit around the bottom, like I said, brake caliper, that bracket, and then the long pin thing, you take these out, and them on both sides, and then that should all just slot out. So yeah. So as you can see, I've took that pin thing out. It just a few turns with an adjustable, and that just comes straight out, and then the wheel now will just come off, and there it is. The wheel is off, and now my bike looks like that. The next thing to do is, like I said, get the bolts on the sides and get them off, basically. Another thing that I tend to do is, just so it's easier, when I've took stuff off, I put the bolts back on to where they go. Don't know if you can see that. So then you don't lose them, and you know where they go then. You know where they fit on. You can put them in like labelled bags, put them in a tub. Right. I just find it easier to put them back onto where they went, so then, yeah, it's just easier to know where they go and easy to find. When you're taking these off, I've took one off. This might sound a bit stupid, probably all know this, but I'll say it anyway. Just get an adjustable or a spanner, I've used a spanner, and hold it on that end of the bolt so you can take off the nut then with a socket set like I've got, or another adjustable basically. So then, yeah, so if you just try and undo that like that, this bolt's going to spin with it. Basically, once you're like, you're getting the bolts off, if you haven't got someone else around to hold the fork for you once you take the last one off, just use something to support it so you can kind of hold it once you're on the last thread to get it off, but it won't just drop down onto the floor, it will stay rested. I've just used anything I can find around my garage really. So yeah, I'm on the last one here to get this right fork off. So basically I've pretty much got that out now, but as I've been untightening it, I've just had my hand there and using the other hand to my thing. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually moving around now, so I can just slide that out. So yeah, what you do is, now it's moving around and easy to slide out, you just get whatever it is prepping the thing, move it, and it will slide out nicely. Oh god, and there you go. Get it on the grass. That is a fork removed. Is out of there. It's basically same again for the next fork. Once you've got a fork off, what you want to do is rest the main bit on something soft so you don't scratch or score it, because then it just won't be very good if you got it down there where it will just make a bit of a gap. So yeah, like I said last time, I've just put everything back where it was loosely, just so I know when I come back to it to put everything back on, I know where everything goes, and then I don't lose it because it just stays there. Another thing is, if like you plan on taking your forks off but you haven't got a paddock stand, okay, you can literally use anything as long as it's strong enough for the bike. Boxes, chairs, anything really. So yeah, if like you're going on your bike and you can see that and then after you've come back there's like a stream of fork oil just coming down your fork, and then when it's sat there it's leaving big puddles in there and on your wheel, then there's an 85 to 90% chance, and it is your seals that have gone, but there is just like a tiny little line, don't know if you can see that, where like a bit of oil's weeping. It might not be the seals. There's a thing that you can get on eBay called a seal mate. It's just a little weird shaped plastic thing, and you take off the dust seal, put the plastic thing in, hook it round and just smooth it round and hook dirt out. And sometimes that works, because sometimes it can be just dirt or a bit of muck has got down and made a bit of a gap in the seal. So yeah, it might not always be the case of renewing seals. So yeah, as you can see, I've just done the same again on the other side of the fork. Just took out the bolts, got to do that set next, and I should have this fork off. But yeah, it is important to take the strain off your brake caliper. I don't know if you can see it there, I've rested it on a bucket in a brick, because you don't want strain on this pipe. You can even just tie grip it to the frame somewhere, but I just find it easier to rest it on something. When you are resting the fork or forks on the other end with no wheel on the front and that, when you've took it all off like this, be careful to not like move it too much, because when there is now more weight on the back end, so it can rock back too much and fly off the paddock stand or whatever you're using, depending how big it is, whatever you're using to rest on it. But if you got a paddock stand, watch it, because it can like seesaw and then fly back off the paddock stand. You don't want that, because you've got no wheel, so it'll just fall onto all your downpipe and everything, and it won't be very good. When you're on the last bolt like that, ready to get it off, when you're loosening it, just keep feeling to see if the fork's able to move, because some people take it all out, like, you know, they haven't got it supported there, take the whole last bolt in, or they get most of the way out and it just drops on the floor. So just have a feel now and again, hold it whilst you're undoing the last bolt until it can wobble enough to slide out. And if you haven't got anyone with you, you know, just slowly, you can do it, just slowly take each little thing that's resting off, just slowly move it out of the way and keep good hold of the fork, and then you have to just slide it out. As you can see, I haven't even got that bolt fully out, and I don't know whether you can see, but I am able to wobble that about now. So I will take each one of these out and slowly. They do get a bit heavier once they're out, so watch it when you're doing it with one hand. Probably not the best idea, because if it drops on your foot it'll hurt, but just slowly, you know, twist it out until it's out. And there you go, fork number 2 is off, and there is the bike with the front end off it. Like I said, because now all the weight's at the back, just try not to move it too much, put too much pressure, because it can rock quite easily and just, you know, fall off. So yeah, that is dismantling of the forks. I'll get them off. I'll try and do a later video when I'm actually getting to the seals and getting in there to change the seals and that. These are what the seals look like, you know. So yeah, they're the new seals. I'm going to attempt to fit them on sometime this week. Basically, it's just, if you know, your seals have gone or anything on your bike's gone, and you think you can do it yourself, and you don't particularly fancy paying like 70-80 quid for someone else, a mechanic, to do it, then yeah, get the parts, try and do it yourself, you know. But a thing that will help you a lot with taking your bike apart, every single nut and bolt, is a Haynes manual. No, not a lot, definitely worth it. Back to front, tells you everything what to do about taking the bike apart, and it comes in a lot of help when you're doing big jobs like forks or engine work. So yeah, this is the video of taking the forks off. Thanks for watching. Remember to click the subscribe button, and bye.